Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I'm Sky and I'm so happy that you're here for this one. Today's video is the second part to a three-part series of our bathroom remodel. So we are working on our half bath just to make it a little bit more of a functional, but mostly more of a beautiful space. We want to give it tons of character and just do something fun and new in there. So we're adding beadboard, we're adding wallpaper, we're swapping out the light fixture, the mirror, some of the different decorative elements. I'd like to find some window treatments for in there and get rid of our blinds. So I'm so excited for this video. I'll be sharing the last week's worth of work, mostly on my husband's part, getting the bathroom ready to install the beadboard, installing the beadboard, painting it, and I'll show you kind of how it is. And then the last phase or the last part should be up in a week and a half, and that will be installing our wallpaper and putting all of the finishing touches on that space, sharing before and after footage. Guys, I am giddy. I cannot wait. So make sure that you are subscribed so you can see all of this remodel goodness and so much more. I've got my spring home tour coming very soon as well, and I can't wait to share that one. If you missed the first part of this three-part series on our bathroom, make sure that you go and watch part one. I'll have it down in the video description. It'll be linked there. You can just click on it and watch that one. In that video, I shared the design process, how I create my design board, what pieces I'm looking at adding into that space, and just my overall inspiration. So I share a lot of inspiration photos that I've collected, and a lot of you really love that video, so I hope you'll go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into this one and check out where we're at with our remodel. So we started out in here by just removing everything from the walls and then starting to do some measuring. We had to decide how high we wanted to go with the beadboard. There were so many different directions we could have taken this. We kind of initially thought about maybe like a chair rail height, just slightly above the vanity. But as we kind of measured things out and tried to visualize everything, we decided to go a little bit higher and match up with the board and batten that is in our breakfast nook directly outside of this room. So then it was time to take a trip to Lowe's. It was a rainy evening. We took the whole family, which is always quite adventurous, grabbed any extra tools that we needed, and also got the beadboard. So this was just a fun time. It was a fun family time at Lowe's, and you'll see the kids are tired but super silly. We had to select which trim we wanted, and I went back and forth on this one. The baseboards we kept the same as the breakfast nook so that they would be just kind of continual throughout and have that consistent look. But as far as the trim that was going to go on the top of the beadboard, I ended up picking something simple but still had a little bit of character, and the piece that Chad is holding now is the one that we ended up going with, and I can't wait for y'all to see it. I think that it was the perfect choice for this space. We totally forgot to measure our toilet lid before we left. So I just was kind of taking a peek to see, and we'll have to come back and get one when we have the right measurements. It is the next morning. We got a beautiful, bright, sunny day, and now it's time to take the toilet and the vanity out. We ended up running into an issue with the toilet, so Chad is going to explain that for you in case you ever have the same problem.
So we hit a snag with taking the toilet out. The bolt and nut on the bolt that are holding it down are free spinning, so the bolt is, as I go to loosen it, it's just spinning with the nut, and so it's not loosening, and there's no play from the in between kind of the porcelain of the toilet and the nut. It's still tight, so I can't even hold on to the bolt to remove that nut. So this is just free spinning as we go to loosen it, and that bolt is spinning with it, and there's no access to the bolt down below to cut it and just remove it that way, or to hold it tight as I spin the nut off. So trying to figure out next steps to get this toilet out.
This is certainly not the first toilet that we have removed to do a bathroom project. We've removed quite a few, but not something that you would ever think is gonna happen. However, there's always, every time we do a project, there's always something, a big hiccup that comes up, and today we're just hoping that the toilet is our only hiccup. This is one of my favorite things about Chad. Every time we run into a dilemma, it just takes a little bit of thinking, and he always comes up with a solution. I just always wait for, I've got an idea. And he has an idea, so we're gonna test this out and hopefully come back with good news.
Got it.
Anytime we're doing a project around the house, it basically makes every other space in the home a disaster. And that's okay. It's a process. It takes time. You gotta put the toilet somewhere, but I do like to get my projects done quickly because of this. I can only live with chaos for so long. So thankfully we only had about, I'd say 5 days, 4 days maybe, where the house looked like this and we could kind of put things back together, which was so welcomed on my end. But here's Chad ripping out the old baseboards. He's using an X-Acto knife at the caulk line. And then down at the base here, we're trying to save the quarter round so we can reuse it. We typically do this with most projects. So he's just got some of his little tools in there to kind of prop it out and gently let it release so that it doesn't snap and break in half. And I'd say more often than not, he has success when doing this. So we did end up having a good turnout, and we were able to reuse all of our quarter round for this project. Now it is baseboard time, and you will see Chad getting those corners matched up as perfectly as possible. You want this to be a really nice, tight, snug fit. So he is going to do that, and then he will use his brad nailer gun to get those securely on the wall. And then we'll bring the beadboard in. Whenever we install beadboard, we use these liquid nails. It's basically just a really heavy duty adhesive, and he spreads it across the entire back of the beadboard. That way it helps hold it in place until you're ready to use the nail gun and to secure it completely to the wall. Beadboard always looks so much worse before it looks better. It is kind of, I don't even know how to describe it. It almost looks a little bit messy or sloppy because of all of the seams that you're gonna have when you're putting them up. Sometimes you have just like some really weird cutouts and it doesn't look great, but I promise it gets so much better. Caulk makes so much of a difference. Like, it is wild to me, the process photos and then the after. I can't wait for y'all to see it at the very end. So again, just like with the trim or the baseboards, it's going to be a really snug fit, and he's got the liquid nails on the back of the beadboard and then securing them to the wall with his nailer gun. We're taking a quick moment to pause on the renovation because I just ran out to the mailbox and got some happy mail. So our Lovers Design wallpaper samples are here. I customized 5 different samples on their website and I am so excited to show them to you. So we're gonna start out with my 2 favorites. I knew from the beginning that these 2 were gonna be my favorites, and I'm really excited to kind of see this space come together once the beadboard is finished and painted and trimmed out. I think we're gonna be able to get a better idea of which one we wanna go with. But let me show you my 2 favorites. So the first one is the one that I have on my design board, and it is called the Pressed Flower Wallpaper. I have it in the colors Cotton as the background and Stone is the main color on the flowers. This one is really pretty. I just love the floral look, especially for a bathroom. I think it's beautiful, and I think it's gonna go really well with our aesthetic. So this one is so pretty. Again, really excited to see this beadboard painted so that I can get a little bit of a better idea. You can kind of see the trim behind me. I did set it up against our door, and I do feel like this stone color really pulls out a lot of the coloring that's in the trim and the color that the beadboard will be. So I can see this being a serious contender. I love that Lovers Design allows you to customize your wallpaper. They have so many different colors that you can choose from. You can change the background coloring. You can change, honestly, I think just about anything that is colored in your project. Now for this one, it was just the flowers in the background, but some of them are really intricate, and I mean, you may be changing out 6 or 7 or 8 colors if you want to customize them to just kind of perfectly fit your space. This is the next one. This one is currently mine and Chad's favorites, seeing it without the space finished, but it's a little bit more on the dainty side. It's not quite as bold and strong as the pressed flowers that I just showed you. So this one is the Dainty, oh, I didn't even realize that was in the title, the Dainty Hydrangea Wallpaper. And same colors, so I have Cotton as the background and Stone as the coloring of the actual flowers themselves. So the idea with the wallpaper is I want to create that feeling of some uniqueness, I guess, in this space, setting it a little bit apart from the rest of the house, but still flowing as far as colors go and things like that. But I want it to feel like a statement without being overbearing. And I think that either of these would do that. Now I do have my 3 other samples that I'm gonna show you. However, I quickly realized that they're not gonna be a good fit for our house, and I'll explain why. This one is the Wildflower Print Wallpaper. The colors I have here are Army, Linen, and Sage. And as you can tell, it is a much deeper, darker, bolder color. And I'm not completely opposed to that, but this particular shade of green doesn't mesh well with our trim color. And that's the beauty of being able to order these samples online before you have to fully commit to purchasing all of the wallpaper for a space and then getting it in your space and having regrets. So realizing that this is a beautiful pattern, I think that the coloring is so pretty, but just not for our space. This one is called the Wildflower Sketches Wallpaper. And the colors I used were cotton as the background and rosemary for the green. Again, really pretty, but I'm just not feeling it with our trim color. It's just a little too bright green, and yeah, so I love the pattern. I think it's really pretty, and same with the last one. I really like this pattern, and I could totally see this in Mila's room, doing just maybe a shade of pink or something, not like a bright pink, but something just really elegant and classic. So the colors used in this one were army and cotton, and it's called the Wildflower Bouquet Wallpaper. So I really love the pattern, but again, probably just a little bit too busy and too bold for this space. So super excited to see this continue to come together. I'm gonna get out of here so I am out of Chad's way and he can keep working. The trim went pretty quickly. I didn't even get any footage in the process of it going up, but it looks so good. I'm so pleased with this trim choice. I wanted just like a little bit of like a vintage feel in here, and so I didn't want to go with just like straight clean lines up at the top of the beadboard, and I'm just really happy with it. So the next step in this room is getting that quarter round in place, and then you're gonna see, as I mentioned, it really is like just a messy look until you caulk it, fill all of the holes, and then get the paint on there. And you guys, it is just like night and day. I can't wait for you to see. Okay, here she is. We still have to paint, of course, but this is a look at what it looks like with all of the little nail holes filled in, and all of the seams have been caulked, and then we just kind of need to let this dry, and then we can start painting.
I was going through my painting stuff downstairs and I couldn't find the roller I wanted. So I grabbed this one, and it's easily older than you are.
How old am I?
25.
Good answer. Here she is. Phase 1 is complete. Beadboard has been installed and painted. Toilet and vanity are back in, and I am so happy with how this turned out. Okay, so I shared this on Instagram. If you don't follow us over there, make sure you do, because I share more of the just like day-to-day types of things and a lot of the progress photos and videos of projects. My handle is just at House and Home, but over there I got so many questions about the color. Y'all, we like to keep things easy. This is Heather by Dunn Edwards, the same paint that we use on our trim, our doors, our cabinets, and on a lot of the accent walls that we've done in our home. So same color, definitely definitely looks different depending on the lighting and things like that, time of day, but it is a gorgeous color and I couldn't love it anymore in this space. Well, friends, I hope that you enjoyed this one. I hope that it was helpful to kind of see the process of the beadboard installation. I tried to create a little bit of a balance between showing you the process and including some other fun things, just getting prepared and ready to finish out this space. If you liked this one, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.